Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time. Give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray. Thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Wake him up early, teach him how to work, spend his own money, show him what it's worth, yeah. He's gonna know it all, he'll slip and he'll fall, he'll pick himself up, amen. Yes sir, yes ma'am, show him how to be a man, so one of these days he can. Buy a girl flowers, take her to a show, treat her like a lady, and maybe down the road, you'll give a girl a diamond, put it on her hand, watch her and her mama, making all the plans, then get a little house on a little piece of land, build a little family, so maybe one of these days he can, yeah. Buy a boy a baseball, get him outside, get his hands dirty, take a little time, give a boy a Bible, teach him how to pray, thank the good Lord at the end of the day. Yeah, he's gonna know it all, he'll slip and he'll fall, he'll pick himself up, amen. Yes sir, yes ma'am, show him how to be a man, so one of these days he can. Buy a boy a baseball.
Yeah, buy a boy a baseball, man. And welcome to the Balking Dead Thursday, but you may think it's Friday, as we got our guy SpinDoc here with us, as he ain't gonna miss Mizarowski versus Burns Day, man.
No.
How you been, Spin?
Doing good, man. Just got back from Florida. So feeling good, feeling refreshed. And, we got about a solid week and a half here before the All-Star break comes up. So plenty of money to be made. And there's some big dogs going today. So that's why I had the time. So I reached out and I'm like, let's talk today instead of tomorrow, because we got some good pitchers going today.
I looked at tomorrow and I was like, before you even messaged me that, I was like, dude, do you even want to do a fucking show tomorrow? Is there even 6 guys to talk about tomorrow? Like, but Saturday is stacked. So baseball's baseball. Like, I'd say it all the time. I just wait for the bets to come to me. I ain't here to force shit. There'll be days where I have 3, 4, 5 bets. There'll be days where I have 0 bets, and that's okay. But we got 5 guys to talk about. We're not talking 5 guys the restaurant. We're talking 5 freaking studs. Well, maybe 4 studs and a bum. But Valdez has made the list today, so we will get to him. One thing real quick, we talked about it over the last few days. Every guy we're talking about today, the line's right in my opinion, and that's all I can ask for is an over better, is just give me their fucking averages with a little bit of past history and just don't fuck with it, please. Like, let me bet averages, and that's what we have today. Do we have some guys put up a little higher than what they should be? Yeah, but the books are respecting the past history, so that's all I can ask for, guys, and it's now like, let me do my work, because you're not fucking with the lines, so let's eat.
Yep.
First guy we're going to talk about today is, man, do we see the same thing? And we're talking Chase Burns at the Milwaukee Brewers. This morning was a 7.5 plus 120. It's now down to plus 110. And yeah, let's go. Let's get straight into business, man, as this is a spot I'm not looking over on.
Nope, you can't. And here's why so you have Burns, who is in the zone 44% of the time. That's well below pitcher average. He gets a lot of his whiffs off of chase, only allowing 49% chase contact, which is almost 10% under league average. So what I look for when I look for with Chase Burns is that, are you going to swing at the first pitch? And do you have bad high chase and or bad chase contact? And so we look at the Brewers lineup, which is already out. It is, it's not projected anymore. It's 6 lefties, 3 righties. It was what the projected was. I would have preferred Vaughn in on this one instead of Mitchell or Hamilton, but I realize why they're doing it, lefty versus righty. So the first thing about the Brewers that you have to know is that this team takes and takes and takes and takes over the last month and pretty much for the entire season. They have the lowest chase rate, second lowest chase rate in MLB. They also have one of the lowest zone swing percentages in MLB, which normally, if you have a pitcher who's going to just sit there and pound strikes early, would worry you because they put themselves in 0-1, 0-2 counts, etc. When I look for an over on the Brewers, I look for a pitcher who's going to pound that zone, get those 0-1, 0-2 pitches, and then have a wipeout pitch that they whiff to. We don't have that today. What we have is Burns throwing a first pitch strike at about close to 1% under league average. However, I dug a little deeper on this one because the way the metric is calculated is that if you make contact on the first pitch, so pitcher throws it, you swing, and you make contact, whether you get an out or a hit, it does count as a strike, with the thinking and logic being if you would have missed, it would have been a strike because you swung. So I took those out for Burns. And the reason why I took them out is because of this Brewers lineup, only two guys chase. Chourio, who's batting in the 2-hole, and Hamilton, who's batting in the 9-hole. Only two of them chase, and only three of them swing on first pitch. So I wanted to find out, if guys don't swing for Burns, how often does he throw a first pitch strike? And again, talked about the league average being 61-ish%. Burns is only at 57. And when he gets you on 0-1, he's lethal because he strikes you out 40% of the time. When he doesn't, 25% of the time. And it's actually even worse on the road. So I go and I look, and in this Brewers lineup, there's Chourio and Hamilton are the only two that have a first pitch strike percentage above league average. Many of, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the gradable guys are under 60. When you're doing that, you're putting extra pitches onto a pitcher's start, and you're also forcing him to throw first pitch strikes, which is something that hasn't been Burns's forte. Now, where he gets you is he gets you in those hitters or pitchers counts, and then he hits you with the slider. His slider is disgusting. It's got a 52% whiff rate for the year. However, going up and down this Brewers lineup, there are 1, 2, 3, Yelich, Mitchell, and Hamilton. Those are the only three guys that whiff above 30% to a slider. So, especially to righties, which I know there's only three, Burns doesn't throw any other pitches. It's four-seamer and it's slider. And you look at some of these righties like Contreras, who has ultra low whiff rate to both. You look at Yelich, who has a high whiff rate to a slider. But then you also go down and you look at the kid Pratt, who has a low whiff rate to a slider and an average whiff rate to a four-seam fastball. Where does this all add up to? It adds up to possibly 7. It could add up to the number if he's just pounding strikes and the Brewers are continue to sit there and watch fastballs, but they don't typically do that the second, third time through the lineup. The other thing that you have to know about Chase Burns is that because of the velocity and the break at which he throws, there have been a number of times this year where second and third time through the order, his K rate goes down considerably. So for the year, it goes down from 34.7 first time through, 31.9 second time down. If he actually happens to get to a third time through, which usually doesn't, 20%. So Burns has this tendency of right around the 60 to 70 pitch mark starting to get a little wild. And so as long as we can get in a situation where we don't have like 6, 7 strikeouts at the 50 pitch mark, all metrics say that for a team that takes, he has a chance to just drop off and not get any. So I don't think you can look over here at all. I think this is an under or a nothing spot. There's just too many times where he gets behind on guys trying to get them to chase. And this is the wrong team to make chase because this team doesn't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, other than the only thing that you left out that I'll mention is their swing percentage. Like, are they going to swing out the zone for a guy who's throwing 4% out the zone? No. Every fucking 9 of them is league average or better at not swinging out the zone. So unless he decides, or you can't decide all of a sudden, like all of a sudden you're just going to throw you're not Jacob deGrom. That's a guy who decides if he's going to pound the zone or not. So until Chase Burns can show something otherwise, this to me shows a long, long fucking day. And his walks, I were surprised, were only a 1.5 super juiced. Now, what other alarming thing I did notice is his earned runs are at a 2.5. I get it. Juice to the under. This man's allowed that, I believe, one time of his last 10, maybe two.
Yep.
This should be a 1.5, guys. So it is telling a little bit that if someone's getting touched today, it's going to be a guy who's going to walk quite a few fucking people to a really good contact team. And yeah, definitely not looking over, and I'm not an under better. So Burns was just an easy let go for me.
Yeah, the other one, just real quick stat I want to mention, we can move on to Miz, is that, so you talked about the 2 walks. So if we assume that's right, and he is going to walk 2 guys, Burns has walked 2+ guys in 10 starts this year. And when you look at those 10 starts, he is 2-8 to the over 7.5 number. So he's only gotten 8 strikeouts when walking 2 twice out of 10 times this year. With how often this team takes, I definitely see 2 walks. So for me, this is under or nothing easily.
Yes, sir. And then we get into a guy that if you're betting unders on, you're not making a lot of money, but I mean, there has been a few spots like we talked about it last week. We weren't betting over last week. We weren't looking to bet over, I think, even the week before, and he might have hit, but there's spots that you wait for, and we're talking Mizorowski versus Cincinnati. Last night opened them up. Their FanDuel did have an 8.5 -154, -152. They were willingly ready to eat it. And I knew I could have got in last night, but I told myself, dude, you're not paying juice for this, man, dude. Like, you're going to fucking take him to the 9.5 and just fucking go with it or not, bro. Like, fucking get in the paint. And then I was watching a show this morning and I was like, fucking A, Mizorowski's coming off of 107 pitches. The most he's thrown all fucking year. And now we get his highest K prop of the year, where we might need 100 fucking pitches. Now, it's like, fuck, dude. Now we're fucking cutting ourselves thin. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Mizorowski is that fucking dude. He is striking you out over 50% of the time, 0-2 to 3-2. First pitch strike, 5% better than league average, where if he gets you 0-1, 47.5% compared to, 35% if he goes 1-0. He's that fucking dude. He's in the zone 3.5% more than league average with some of the best chase contact in the game, as well as zone contact in the game. So there's been many of ways that I like to attack with the Miz. Do you take pitches? Do you have bad zone contact? Are you going to swing at everything, and do you chase? Because I could find ways in even if you have zone contact with this fucking man right here. And at first I wasn't going to fuck around. I was like, you know what? This should hit, but, I'm cool letting it go. And then they took Stevenson out and put Trevino in. And Trevino, yes, has good zone contact, but he's bad at everything else I want, where Stevenson graded out as a dead spot. So when I come to our guys going to take in the zone, yeah, I've got 6 of the 9 guys that are going to take pitches versus a guy who pounds the fucking zone. You can't do that versus this man. And then zone contact. That's where we get into like, they're actually a decent zone contact team. The bottom 5. But then we get into the swing percentages, and that's a 50-50 where this team really doesn't chase. It depends on who we're going to get to. It's more of a 50-50 type thing, depending on who you go to. So at the end of the day, guys, De La Cruz is going to take with bad zone contact and is a lefty. He's going down 2 times today. His 2 times is -200. Like, his 3 is the bet. Like, if you really want to bet him, it's a 3. So I'm actually going to say 2. I did put Suarez at 1.5, even though he's a fucking 2 walking as well, as Suarez is the only one that's going to take, has bad zone contact, swings at everything, and chases. Like, oh my fucking God. He could literally strike out every fucking at bat today. Then we get into Stewart and Blade. They're going to swing first pitch, but they have terrible zone, or at least league average or worse zone contact. Can't have that versus this, man. You're at least going down once. And then you add in the fact that Stewart's going to swing at everything out the zone as well. You could put Stewart now for a little more than 1, and I did the 1.5 because you just can't have bad zone contact and swing out the zone versus this, man. It's just no. So right now in the top 4 of the lineup, We have projected anywhere from like 5.5 to 7. Like it can realistically happen. The meat is in the top. And then we get into the projected dead spot of Lowe. Lowe will take pitches in the zone, has good zone contact, doesn't swing out the zone, doesn't chase. He's still gettable, even though I put him down for a dead spot. If he pounds him in the zone, you can get him looking. You can get him on a fucking foul tip. Like, it's going to be tough, but it's, it's fucking a lefty versus fucking Mizorowski. So it's gettable. I still put him for a dead spot. Marte, good zone contact, and that he's right there with Trevino, good zone contact. They're going to take pitches in the zone, swing at everything, and chase when they get to 2 strikes. You just can't fucking do that versus the Miz. And then we get into Friedel, which grades out as low as, to me, as another dead spot, but we have him as a lefty. So even with 2 potential dead spots, I have him for 9.25 on a bad day. Okay, Sharpie, well, let's ride it. I get it, and it's over or nothing for me here. Like, you either are betting it over or nothing. I Pasafed way. Shout out to fucking just brain farted, but Pete Loshak, he's the one who came up with the Pasafe word. So, got to give credit where it's due. I am definitely a Pasafe type better. And I hooked him down to what may be my favorite spot of the day going into it metrics wise. And that's going to be Bryce fucking Miller. So I took fucking a half unit bet on Mizorowski 9+, and I hooked it to Miller 6+, and I got -103. I only half unit it because Miller's lineup isn't out. That fucking is key to me, as well as I can see this man ending on 8 or 9 today, guys, as if he's capped at 90, 9 is doable. But now we can't have nothing to go wrong. And Spin talks about that all the time, guys. Like, you really need nothing to go wrong if he's only going 90 pitches today on 10 strikeouts. It can happen. It's the meat of the lineup you're going to see the most, so it's definitely there. I just feel a little safer pulling him down.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. Agree with everything you said, especially that it's over or nothing. And I had actually talked to my people in my Discord last night, and everyone was saying Miz is going to be like the most popular prop of the day, which he is, rightfully so. But I said I wonder if they're going to actually do it and bump them up to the 9.5, and they did. So first thing you need to know about 9.5K prop lines is they're extremely rare.
First one of the year.
For this first one of this year, I can think of one time that
Strider used to be 9.5 religiously.
Strider used to be 9.5, and DeGrom got a 9.5 once or twice. I can't think of many other pitchers that have gotten a 9.5 before. It's super rare. And like Sharpie said, I mean, you think about how many strikeouts that is over that short a start. And yes, we've watched Miz do it over and over and over again. But usually when you're betting 9, 10, whatever strikeouts, as people like to do with Miz, you're getting ridiculous plus money for it because he was at a 7.5 to begin with. You're not getting that today. This is a standard line. And so now the question becomes, do you even almost want to pay juice, right, for something that is that high? And actually, you can still get plus money on a few places. I think FanDuel still has slight plus money. Bet Rivers has plus 114.
So MGM has an 8.5 -155. So I fucking might go.
I get it. If you want the over, and this is the opponent to do it against. However, Sharpie mentioned about 90 pitches. Remember, this man threw 107 pitches last time, and he was laboring at the end. So he's throwing 107 pitches. He's probably going to start in the All-Star game coming up here soon. He's going to get one more start. What I'm saying is the Brewers being a playoff team, and this is something you're going to have to watch in the second half of the year. The Brewers right now being a playoff team, this is their game 1 starter and their ace throughout the playoffs. You can't just burn this kid's arm out. And so are they going to just yank him? Probably not. However, I would seriously doubt if before the All-Star break, if they let him go over 100 again.
Speaking of ace, did you hear the reports? Who are the top 2 front running teams to land Scooble?
Braves are one, right?
Braves and Brewers.
Yeah.
If the Brewers land Scooble, they would go Scooble Miz?
Scooble Miz Woodruff? Yeah, that'd be a nice application.
With that bullpen, bro?
And you could still
shit.
And you could still have Drohan and Gasser come out for long relief, who are flamethrowers.
Oh fuck, dude! Like, dude, this is crazy.
One lefty, one righty.
I don't know if the Brewers can really afford it. It would be they wouldn't be able to pay him. This would be an all-in move for this year only.
Yep.
Can they really pay him Dodgers and Yankee money? No.
But that rotation could win playoff series by themselves.
By themselves, a 5-game rotation series, bro. You're dead. You see Scooble and Miz, like you're dead.
Yeah, like
98 from both sides, and then 104 from the right. Like, get the fuck out.
Not unless you're planning on winning every game 1-0 in extra innings.
That's playoff baseball. That's my favorite playoff baseball.
But yeah, so no. My end thought on Miz is I would feel better pulling him down to 9 if you want to get him in with something. I'm just usually not a fan of playing 10 plus strikeouts because if literally one thing goes wrong, if he has one even like bad stretch, it's over. It's basically over. And so for a guy that is probably, I don't know this for a fact, who is probably going to be at least a little bit limited in the 85 to 90 pitch range here coming up. I don't know. It's just, it's a big number for me. So that's why I would much rather pull him down.
Yeah. And then when I was looking at his averages too, it's like they could have went 8.5. You know, that's the same amount freaking win percentage to the 9.5, but they're not fucking with Miz no more.
No,
you're not going to get a good line on this motherfucker ever again. And if you see a shady line, go under or leave it be.
Nope. The only way I could maybe see getting it is if he pitches, like, say, at Toronto, at Arizona, at Kansas City, maybe at Tampa Bay might be another one. Like the ultra contact teams, you might get an 8.5 with plus money on the over. But other than that, you ain't getting it.
Bro, MGM has an 8.5 minus 155. I could have probably got 8 plus and then the 6 on there with fucking Miller. Like, I told you when you called me, I was shopping around and I did not look at MGM. Fuck me.
I wonder if the other majors are going to go up to the 9.5 or if they're going to follow because
usually MGM's just no one has
slow.
that book.
They're slow
for some reason. They allow it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, they're slow.
They're content with, like, I get it. Do you really want to pay juice on him? If there was a guy to pay juice on, his name is Mizorowski. So if you do have MGM, I mean, fuck, dude, I wouldn't even parlay the 9 at that price. I probably would have bet that half unit straight up. So it is what it is. That's what happens when you fucking shop around and don't look at the right books.
No. And the other thing you could do based on how this lineup is constructed, Sharpie, I know you talked about that it's like super K heavy up top. And this would require, some cojones. As I told my people the last time I told them to do it against the Cubs, because at one point against the Cubs, his live line was 10.5. And I said, if you can get that, I said, go under 10.5. So if he torches the first 4 or 5 hitters and he's up there at like 11.5, somewhere around there, and there's a reasonable price on an under, it might be worth a couple bucks on an under live just because of the fact of what Sharpie said is that I don't see him throwing 100 pitches today. I just don't. They're going to need this kid for their playoff run. And I mean, as strong as he is, as young as he is, and as powerful as he is, I mean, if you let a guy just continually blow 103 straight gas, 100 pitches a start, eventually that's going to catch up to you. So I can see the Brewers not babying him, but really starting to manage him because they are in a great position to go to the postseason.
All right, let's get into the next game, which happens to be the same 2 different pitchers, but the same game. And I'm actually might like Eovaldi. I know we were talking. I didn't break him down yet. When we were talking, I was like, the zone contact. Then I started looking and I was like, oh, I see so many different paths to where he at least lands on 6.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dude, can he not fall into another? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to bet the over, but let's talk Valdez. Let's talk Eovaldi. And Valdez opened up 5.5 plus 114. Is the line right? Yes, but it could have been a 4.5 minus 150, guys, if you were going to go off his averages. But they're not. They're going to go to his 5.5 where he's 3-7. That's a plus 135. Take in this monstrous amount of pass history, 92 at bats, and a 38% strikeout rate, guys. The books are listening to that, where a lot of times this year they have not with Valdez in the past history. So can we really fucking trust this guy, Val? Can we spin?
Oh, man. Well, you look at the line, and so he's averaging 6.9 strikeouts, which is boosted partially by his last 2 starts where he got Toronto and San Diego for 9 each. But he's 6-4 to 7+, and he's facing a team where you talked about
Valdez. We're doing Valdez.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought we went on to Eovaldi. Okay, well, Valdez. Well, first of all, you know my thoughts on Valdez.
That's why I said, can we fucking trust this guy?
This fucking guy. So Valdez has been partially on my, for those that have watched me on this show, I call it the Rodon list. It was what Rodon was on last year, because no matter how you bet him, if I bet him over, he'd go under. If I bet him under, he'd go over. And if I bet both of them, he'd somehow find a way to lose both. So anyways, I look at Valdez, and it's pretty much the same stuff that you normally see from him, allowing a lot of zone contact, like Sharpie mentioned, and he is generating a healthy chase rate. Now, his chase contact for the year is 10% above league average, which is abnormal for him. However, over the last 3 or 4 starts, it's actually been a lot better. So I have to defer a little bit to a number in between his 48% for his career and his 59% for this year. So I have to assume that the chase, the chase, if he should get it, would be decent. Now, you look at the Rangers as a team over the past 2 weeks, actually over the past 6 weeks, and they are chasing about 1.5% above league average. They're making contact slightly above league average as well. And their zone contact is right around league average. So what all this adds up for to me, especially when I take into account the past history, is I think this one straddles the line between 4 and 5. Now to your point, Sharpie, can I trust this guy? I don't want to. Like I really, really don't want to. But I am like you, where I see multiple pathways to the 5+. I also have seen it where, with the exception of his back-to-back against Houston, which former team, et cetera, with his last 4 or 5 starts, there was one against Minnesota, but like he's actually been pretty good. I mean, 8 against the Yankees, 6 against Houston in his return there, 5 against Seattle. I mean, he is generating more chase whiff lately, which there are, I believe by my, I think it was 4 or 5 that have bad chase contact in this projected lineup. So there are pathways to 5. The 6, I'm not sure about though. And so I think the line is probably priced correctly. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of 4.5s right now, over 4.5s that don't have just absurdly stupid juice. With the right lineup, I might be able to get to 6, but this is not a guy I'm actively looking to go on. What I'm looking to do probably more so is to pull him down to 5 and then pair it with something else.
Yeah, he's been a guy where if I bet him, I have to take him down. And he's actually hit that number where I've took him down to where he hasn't hit his original number when it says he should fire. And I think you just answered my question that I had, Spin, without even fucking answering it, is can we trust this man? As I wrote down, this is his worst zone contact and chase contact of his career. And you just said over his last 4 games, he's turning back into the Valdez we are fucking accustomed to.
At least with chase.
And if that's the case, then we could trust the past history in this lineup, where I wrote down, can I really trust the past history when this man hasn't been Valdez from the fucking past? Like, can I trust it? And you just told me he's back to being him. So with the past history, guys, I've got him for 5.5 with a question mark on the kid. Like, I got nothing on this kid in the a-hole. And do they really run Lopez today? A lefty versus a lefty? Because if they sit him out, then it's definitely okay. It's like, okay, fuck. I'm going to have to bet the over on Valdez. It's just, do I pair him with Duran to strike out or Burger to strike out and pull him down? And because those are the two I got going down multiple times.
Yep.
When I look at his first pitch percentage, he's 1% better than league average. 0-1 is 28.5%. 1-0 is 12.5%. Like, he needs to go up 0-1. So who's going to fucking swing first pitch in this lineup? How about 5 of the 8 gradable? They're at least going to help this man out if he's not throwing first pitch strikes like he normally does. So, okay, we're going to be where we need to. It's the zone contact that does scare the piss out of me. For a man that I've always looked at for zone contact, there's only 2 guys out of the 8 gradables that are worse than league average, and that's Duran and Burger. And then we get into the chase contact where if we really don't have to pay attention to it this year, then okay, cool. Then we won't. But just off of just everything else, it tells me he has to get Burger and Duran 3 times to get this 6. Has to. Like, has to. And I hate to ask for 3 just for 2 people. Like, yeah, okay, they're in the top 5 projected, so you're going to see them 3 times. He might get his 6 off of those 2. Like, their metrics and their past history say this year or past year is going down to Fram Diesel. So what tells me metrics-wise says Nimmo and Jung don't go down. Past history says Jung's going down twice. 8 of 18. Says he's going down. Nimmo 4 of 13. I put him at a 0.75 because you're going to see him 3 times. Okay, so he could be got, but the metrics say no. Higashioshi, the metrics say no, 4 of 8. So once again, if we get this past history to play out, if Frammer's back to being Framber, he gets 6 today, guys. So will I bet it? Fucking probably not, but maybe. I'm not going to say no. As if they take Lopez out, then they're really going to make me look. Or even Ozuna out. Like, take out either of the 2 lefties I have for dead spots.
Yep.
And I'll look to get in. So fuck you, Fram. Well, looks like I might be betting you today. Fuck. It's all right though. We'll blame it on Spin if we lose. He said he was back. Fucker said he was back. He's in boom.
I say nice things about him, and then he goes and shits the bed. That would be a Fram Diesel thing to do.
Bro, and it's hard for me to even bet the guy because I don't like the guy personally.
No, I don't like him either.
I used to love him. I gave him a pass for hitting his catcher last year, but the shit with Story this year just put me over the edge of, dude, you're just a piece of shit, bro.
Yep.
But sometimes pieces of shit win you money.
Yep.
All right, now we can talk about the other side where I see so many paths to 6, but the number's 6.5. And it's minus 113 on FanDuel. And is the number right? Well, if you go off his average, it should be minus 130. He's 6-4 to the over. Yet not the best pass history, just 21.8%, 32 at bats. Not a lot, but enough to say, okay, we'll drop it down a little bit, FanDuel says. I still think it should be off of his average, but FanDuel might be telling us that 6 may be his best day. Let's talk Eovaldi.
All right. Well, the one thing that Detroit can do and probably will do, especially based on a projected, is Nate is getting a lot of zone whiff. He's allowing zone contact almost 2% under league average. However, that is one of the strengths that this Detroit Tigers team can run out there. You got McKinstry at 91%. You got Vierling at 89. You got Dingler at 89, and you got McGoingle at 88. So of those guys, all of them also have excellent chase contact, and 2 of them don't chase. So from between those four for him project to be tough. So if you have that and you have, let's just say 1 to 2, 1.5 between those guys, let's just say 2 because he's at home. He needs 5 more across the rest of the lineup. Can he get there? Okay, well, Outman for sure is going to strike out. He's a walking strikeout if he happens to be in. You have Spencer Torkelson, who is another very gettable guy. So that's another one. Colt Keith has 87% zone contact and doesn't chase. So that's probably a half at best. You see where I'm going with this is that I see a bunch of pathways to 6. If this is the lineup that they run, there's just not a ton of zone whiff here to get pathways to 7. The reason why that's important to me is that while Nate does generate a 36% chase rate, his chase contact is slightly below league average. So you're going to have to get almost all of this on chase. Now you can get guys like Outman, you can get Torkelson, you can get Lee. Let's just say those 3 on all of your stuff. So then you got to go over to the chase and you got to see, do the rest of the guys chase enough where I can get there? McKinstry, league average for chase and great chase contact. Veerling, a little bit over for chase, great chase contact. Dingler, same thing. McGoingle doesn't chase and makes superb chase contact. Keith doesn't chase, makes good chase contact. So I'm going down the list here and I'm trying to find the guys that I'm looking for the right combo with Nate, which to me is chase and bad chase contact, and then also bad zone contact. And I'm not seeing enough of it here in this lineup. I'm also say that because, Sharpie, to your point, is that Eovaldi is 6-4 to this 7+ over his last 10. He's also at home to a team where just pure strikeout metrics is very average. So that's what attracted me to it first. Was I'm like, why is the juice not worse on this? Like why are they encouraging the over? Especially after Nate has gone 6-9-9 in his last 3 starts, which is what a lot of casual bettors use. So if he's not going to get guys in the zone, then he's going to have to get guys on chase. And the chasers in this lineup who are projected to be in this lineup today are Carpenter. So you can get Carpenter on chase. Dingler chases, but makes great contact. Lee, I already said he would get. And Veerling makes great chase contact. So, I'm trying to find a different combo unless he's going to get, say, Outman and Lee, who are projected at the bottom both times he faces them. That could be a path. But then do you really want to risk that? Do you really want to risk juice to bet on 2 guys striking out 2 times? Otherwise, he's going to have to get pretty much all of the projected dead spots. Could it happen? Sure. Do you want to put juice behind that either? No. So I'm looking under or nothing here on Nate, especially if they run this projected lineup. There is so much zone contact in this lineup, and the guys that have zone contact predominantly either don't chase, have good chase contact, or both. So it just severely limits the number of guys that you can reasonably expect him to get. So that's why for Nate, I'm looking under here. The other thing is, past history for sure says under. 7 Ks and 34 plate appearances. The only one that he's gotten, he's gotten McKinstry twice, but he's gotten Riley Green 3 out of 9 times, I believe. Yeah, 3 out of 9 times. So you add Green in there, but even still, that adds up to 4, adds up to 5, 4.5, 5, and you maybe get one of the dead spots, or you just kind of fall into another one over the course of the start because of how the game flows. Now you get 6. And so my question, and Sharpie, maybe you can answer it for me. Where does 7 come from? I can't find it.
Well, if Veerling's not in the lineup, which I don't have him in the projected, then I've got him for 6.3 on a bad day, which means 5 can happen. Which means, he can have a good day. But like you said, we've got a guy who's first pitch strike 4% better than league average. And I was talking to you before the show. I'm like, dude, we don't rarely ever see this. The guy who goes 0-1 or 1-0 is striking you out 28%, no matter which way he goes.
Yep.
It don't matter if he starts you off 1-0 or 0-1. It's 28% for Nathan Eovaldi. That's pretty fucking cool. He's in the zone right around league average, as he's better than league average when it comes down to zone contact, chase contact. He is a guy who strikes you out 45% of the time, 0-2 to 3-2. You cannot take versus this man. and let's get into it. Who's going to swing in the zone? Shit. We've only got 3 guys that are going to take pitches. Okay, well, of those other guys, who's good at zone contact? Well, of the ones that are projected, we have 4 guys better than league average at zone contact. And then we're going to get into chase contact as a bonus. And once again, 4 guys. So we go through this, guys. I do have 2 dead spots in McConaughey and McKinstry. Those guys just grade out as elite at everything that I'm looking at. Then we get into 2.3s, as they're probably not striking out, but you can. And those are going to be Dingler and Keith. And then everybody else is a fucking holy shit. Torkelson has only struck out no times in 7 at-bats. Well, he's the highest person to strike out in the game today. And by the metrics wise, Torkelson, we've talked about on this show, is spelt with 3 Ks. His last one is a backwards K. So Torkelson, because he fucking strikes out, dude. That's just what he does. So at the end of the day, guys, I've got Carpenter for 1.5. I've got Green for 1.25, Torkelson for 1, Ottman for 1, Lee for 1, and then a couple 0.3s. There's 2 dead spots and 2.3s. Like, this is what kept me off of betting Hunter Brown. Like, those 0.3s could be dead spots. Then you're fucking with 4 dead spots. Like, I don't want to bet nothing with 3 dead spots. When we talked Miz earlier, there's 2 potential dead spots, one in the 5 hole, one in the 9 hole. At least they're not up at the top. We got McConaughey in the 1 hole and at least McKinstry down in the fucking 7, but Dingler's in the 2. Keith's in the 5. So technically 3 of the top 5 could be dead. There's just multiple ways I could see him ending on 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. It's like, how does he get 7? Like you said, he's going to have to get Torkelson, Ottman, or Lee twice. He's going to have to get somebody towards the bottom twice. Can it happen? Yeah, but dude, I'm not betting that. That you might as well just go bet them to strike out twice at some crazy plus money, because there's a chance they get pulled after Eovaldi gets out the game. So,
yeah, the paths to 7 for me were just too few or too, I don't want to say unrealistic, but just like, I always look at what's the most sensible way the game script plays out. And you know what? If a guy goes out there and, like Cade Cavalli, say over a couple days ago, where like his line was 4.5 and he had been kind of just hovering between 4 and 7 strikeouts, and he goes out there and just murks Philadelphia for 13. Like, stuff like that can happen, but then you have to ask yourself, like, is that really what I want to put my own money behind and pay juice on too? So yeah, if you want Eovaldi, if you want the over, I would probably suggest pulling him down to 6 and putting it with something.
I'm over here watching Jared Jones, pulling him up. So many people were bashing him this morning on the Bag Show, and I'm just like, dude, he's Dustin May. He's everybody else, bro. He's got a jump in velocity after missing baseball. Like, give the kid some time.
Yep.
He's going to be that dude again, and I'm not going to guess when he's going to turn it around, but he will turn it around. Like, his slider's up 3 miles per hour. His fastball's up 2. His changeup's up 4. He's throwing an Edward Cabrera changeup, a 95 mile per hour changeup.
I know.
He's got to learn how to control this shit now. Like, he's going to be fun to bet next year when he's not on a fucking cap. So,
yep.
Yeah, I'm a big Jared Jones fan. I just think it's going to take time for him to harness that new velocity, bro. Like, fuck, he ain't had this velocity. A slider right now, 95 mile per hour slider. That is almost Mizorowski shit, bro. Like, yikes. All right, let's get into the last person of the day. And like it says on the back of the motherfucking radar gun, it's Miller time. And fuck, has it been fun betting this guy again? Because fucking last year we had to stop. We just had to fucking let him go. But he's back. And he's back with a vengeance. Maybe he did a little PEDs. Maybe he's just growing up. But his velo is the best it's ever been on his fastball. And yeah, he's always been a guy who relies heavily on his fastball. And we're talking Bryce Miller versus the Angels. Opened him up 6.5 minus 132. I believe minus 136 is on FanDuel now. Is the line right? Well, it's really hard to say is the line right when the guy's only gone 7 games, but 5-2 to the over. That equates to fucking, you better put him in a 6.5 with some juice. Can you really put him in a 7.5? I don't think so. So yeah, I believe the line is right. The past history, it's good. It's 27% in 55 at bats. And I'm going to tell you it's going to get even better because Bryce Miller is better than what he was in the past. Let's talk Bryce Miller.
Definitely better than he's been in the past, especially when it comes to the chase stuff, because the thing that Miller, the reason why I stopped betting him last year was that his splitter wasn't hitting, his slider wasn't generating whiffs. In fact, last year, his slider, which he only threw 7.7% of the time, and opponents were batting 375 off of it. Now he's throwing it at almost 4 miles an hour faster. Or no, 3 miles an hour faster this year. He's throwing it 13% of the time, and opponents are batting 278, and he's got a 30% whiff rate. So clearly he's cleaned things up with the slider. And when you combine his four-seamer with the splitter and now the slider, because last year what you saw him do mostly was just four-seamer, sinker, and splitter. And a lot of his splitters, especially towards the end of the year, just became flat out uncompetitive. His splitter only had a 28% whiff rate last year. And a lot of that, like if you go back and look at his last few starts, it was even like in the low 20s or teens. Now, this year, he's up over 32%. And has also added velo onto everything. So you add velo, you add additional break on your breaking stuff, and you're going to be a totally different pitcher. And so that's why, Sharpie, I know we talked about this morning about like, can you look at the past history? I mean, I think you can, but because I mean, yes, it's the same guy, but is it the same pitcher? And it's not necessarily the same pitcher, because this year, his overall chase rate is by a country mile the highest of his career. This is a guy who was only averaging 28% chase, which is right around league average, and now is generating almost 38%. So more velo, more chase, and more chase whiff against a team who is more than happy to just hack at everything. So you get those two pitches. And if you look at the Angels projected lineup and you look, which as of right now, I think it's 4 and 5. Yeah, it's 4 and 5. When you look at this team's projected lineup's whiff rate to some of those pitches, and this is to like an average slider. So you look at Anaheim and you look at what their overall individual whiff rates to a slider are, and my God, I mean, you have Soler at 50. You have Low at 40. You have Low at 43. You have Adele at 34. You have Walton at 30. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. And then you go down to the splitter, and it's a lot of the same stuff. You have multiple guys in the 30 to 40% range. So if Miller is going to be able to get to get fouls and to get early strikes on these guys, which by the numbers it says he will, because he's also got second highest first pitch strike percentage of his career. There are plenty of strikeouts out there. The other thing to keep in mind too is that this is not a piggyback situation for Miller based on the outs prop. Seattle had been doing that. I know that they did it already with Castillo and Miller, but based on his outs prop, this is not projected to be a piggyback situation, which means there are easily 7 strikeouts out there.
Yeah, I read the report and they said they didn't want to fuck with Gilbert or fucking Miller on how they've been. They're like, dude, what are we doing? We're going to just throw a wrench in these guys that are humming right now. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. So yeah, we're going to talk about Miller real quick. How about a cool 53% 0-2 to 3-2 this year? Holy shit, guys. First pitch strike, like you said, better than ever, 2% better than league average. 0-1 striking you out 42% of the time compared to just 22%. He's in the zone, 2% better than league average with right around league average chase contact. This all plays into the Angels. Okay, Sharpie. Well, he throws 2% first pitch, so we want guys who are going to take first pitch, right? Actually, no. I want guys who are going to swing just in case he's off a little bit. Just in case. And we've got 8 of the 9 guys who are going to fucking hack first pitch at this man. Oh, come on. Please do. And of those 8 of the 9, 5 do have good zone contact. But that's where the past history is going to play into me here, guys. Adele has good zone contact. Adele has struck out 4 of fucking 9 times to the old Bryce Miller. He is going down today, guys. Good zone contact or not. And then if you want to look at the chase contact where he's league average at, there's only 2 guys in this lineup that are better than league average. So it comes down to I have 1 dead spot in Chenal. And technically, Chenal's going to be the one who takes pitches and who's going to put himself in a fucking spot where he's striking people out 53.5%. Oh, well, he's not a dead spot no more, is he there, guys?
Nope.
And that just jumps me to a 7.75 on a bad day. If this is the lineup I get, I will be betting Bryce fucking Miller tonight with the juice or not. I mean, it is what it is. And I think he hums. I really think he fucking hums. But I thought Wu was going to hum too.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I will say about Wu, though, in hindsight, is that as dominant as he's been at home, the one thing, because they swing so aggressively, that the Angels can do is they can get to zone pitchers, and Wu has decent chase stuff. So like watching that Wu start, I thought he started off correctly because he was pitching to everybody backwards. He was going sweeper. But like the problem I had with Wu is that his sweeper is solid. His four-seam fastball is ridiculous, but like he doesn't have that third one that Bryce Miller now has. And so I think that they caught up to it, and then he had to keep going zone more, which is what they hit. But anyways, what I'm getting at here is that like Miller has 3 pitches and 2 of them are chase. Wu kind of only has the fastball and the sweeper. So whole other pitch, whole other location, whole other break for them to worry about, so like I totally get the line here. Totally get it. And to your point, if we get that lineup, probably looking to go with it.
I mean, as crazy as it sounds, it's been good to say it, but metric-wise going in, Miller is my favorite spot today. As we said that about Soriano, we said that about Wheeler. Sometimes you just can't ignore some of these metrics, and even though the zone contact actually says under, it's the past history of some of those good zone contacts that's going to make me say, nah,
yep.
Not today, motherfucker. So, definitely love me a little bit of Miller time the way it's going now. I don't want to see Guzman and Grisham and Chenal. And like, come on. There is a lineup that can get me off of this. They have Heineman sitting there in the back. They have some good contact guys, actually, they can piece the right lineup together. And that's why, yes, I did pull them down to 6 already, but I've got them for 7.75. Even if they pull him down to Grisham, like, dude, the 6 better fucking happen, you son of a bitch, because Miz is going to get me his 9. Actually, I'm more worried about Miz's 9 than I am fucking Miller's 6, as crazy as that sounds.
I'm with
you.
I
know you got to go. You got a phone call to take in a few minutes. Let these guys know what you got going on, as you do have a daily video about to start.
Yeah, so at SpinDocSports, where you can find me and all my stuff, starting July 4th, in addition to being on this show and other appearances, we'll be dropping a free video daily play for primarily for strikeouts, but I get into other stuff too. So all you gotta do is follow me, and I'll have a free video daily play. My process works is that I come up with a list of finalists every day about ones that I think have value because of line metrics, etc., and then kind of rank and rate those, and then as lineups come out, make final decisions about going official plays. So one of the finalists and what I'll usually do is just my favorite one on paper right off the bat, will do a free video play and explain why we're going to do it. So follow me at SpinDocSports, and you'll have access to that starting on July 4th.
July 4th, guys. 4th of July. That's Saturday, baby.
It
Let's
is.
go.
It is.
They've been lighting fireworks off for a fucking week straight here in Tennessee. They allow it. So it's been bang, bang all fucking day and night. So appreciate you guys all for tuning in. Special little Thursday show, as we probably won't be doing one tomorrow, as tomorrow's card is fucking ass, and some more ass. As I'm not here to press action. I'm here to bet when it's told to bet. And speaking of, do we have 1 minute? We have 2 minutes. Cool. What the fuck? I hate looking at this because it'll fuck with me. Duran and Berger are like minus 200 to strike out. What the fuck?
Huh.
What the fuck?
Not very good.
No, not when I got him for 2.
Nope.
But yeah, so but I've seen that and him go out and mow him down. And the team is at 7.5. Okay, enough of that, guys. I'll leave that with you. I'll probably leave Valdez the fuck alone, but